Surya Jayanty at 6:44, October 22nd. Yeah, I'm not an actor. Everything I tell you that I experience, 1000% real. One way you can check is if you know all these people in California, New York, Dallas, Houston, Woodlands, Dubai, and wherever the hell else they're using this telepathy tech and this implantable tech from. If you could check their computers to see how often they're putting inputs into their computer, there may be some place this sort of information stored in the computer, and you can see how often they're putting inputs into their computer that then interact with the devices in my brain and body, the BCI, etc. Maybe also, if there's a way to trace invisible communications, maybe you can see how often invisible communications are directed at my home and hence my body that aren't, for a cell phone, for example. These communications that interact with implantables, the BCI in the form of telepathy, etc., may have a different form than a cell phone radio wave. So once you look to see how often communications are directed at my parents' home, and that may also give you, may also aid in deciphering how many communications are coming into this home and how many communications are interacting with devices in my brain and body and peripheral nervous system daily, and how often they're interacting with them. So if you can find the computers they use to communicate with these devices, the BCI, etc., that will show you how often they're interacting with these devices. And then if you have a way to trace invisible communications and identify them, then you can see how many and how often and where they're coming from that are interacting with these devices in my brain, body, and peripheral nervous system. Yeah, I'm not an actor. I'm a victim of this, and all you have to do is find out where these people are using this tech from, and maybe look at what kind of information is being processed, what inputs are being processed on their computer, and what kind of outputs their computers are giving. And then you can look at the rate and see where they're directed at, and then you'll see how often they're bombarding me with this technology, whether bombarding my central and peripheral nervous system with these neurophysiological torture devices, or bombarding my brain with telepathy from at the BCI. And then if you have a way to trace these communications, you can look and see how often they're coming into my parents' house at 415 Straight Lane. And then once you do that, you'll see these people are literally bombarding me 12 to 17 hours a day with this tech and different devices in my central and peripheral nervous system, as well as with telepathy.